is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That is a tune called Nobody from the band Warbeast from their killer album Destroy. And standing here with me right now, I've got Bruce from the band Warbeast. Bruce, how are you, man?
Doing great, man. Just getting ready for the show tonight here in Cleveland.
Sure. Well, dude, obviously this is not that this is new for you guys because you certainly know Philip well, but it's a big opportunity to be out there in front of all the Pantera Down Superjoint fans, man. It's got to be great for a band that's up and coming like yourselves.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we can't beat the exposure that he's given this band just to be out on the road with Philip, and whether it's with Down or any of his bands, he's going to bring a crowd, and he's in our corner pushing us, and he's helping us out. So I think it was, great that we got to be on this first tour for his solo band,
Sure.
Especially since we did that split a while back with War of the Gargantuas, so
Right.
Taking it out on the road's been a really cool thing for us.
Sure. Now, no secret, you guys are one of Phil's bands on Phil's label, and that being said, it's not like you guys are new anymore either. You guys have been around roughly, 7 years or so, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it was like October will be 7 years when we first sort of formed the band, and even though you probably heard that first show was supposed to just be like a benefit one-time alliance, Texas Metal Alliance kind of thing, and that's what we called it that night, but turned into Warbeast, and here we are this many years later, and it's not a new band, but, it's only 2 or 3 releases, and to some people, they still consider us maybe,
right?
New, but whatever,
Right. Well, man, in some regards, and I'm guessing, you could tell me I'm wrong, but I'm guessing it's kind of a double-edged sword to be so immediately related to a guy of Phil's stature. Certainly it's great because you get a ton of people in front of you. Same time, you're expected to be Pantera by a lot of people, and when you're not, then it's like, oh, who are these guys? Is it like that for you, or has it been good, or a little of both?
Well, I mean, mainly it's been all good, to be honest, because
Sure.
when the band first came out, sure did help a lot to have, on Phil's label, produced by Phil, and he's
Right.
saying he's a big fan of ours, and then we had some of the thing to go back to our old bands like Rigor Mortis and Gamma Side. But overall, it's been a good thing. Yes, I know what you're saying. I mean,
Sure.
that just adds to the pressure. People might be, expecting too much. It's like if they hear a movie so fantastic or something, and they go expecting too much or something.
Right.
So, but it hadn't really been so bad. They're either going to like us or not, just like
Right.
any other band,
Sure. Absolutely. Well, man, certainly a lot of growth from the first record through the split to the new record, Destroy. First thing that jumped out to me personally from listening is unbelievable difference in production. It seems like you guys really jumped production-wise. Was there something you did different, or did you record somewhere else, or did you just learn?
Kind of all of the above, to be
Okay.
honest with you. I mean, the first album was actually recorded at 3 different studios. The drums were done in a really nice studio with wooden floors, a professional studio. Then they went over to the engineer's place to do the guitars and bass, and then we recorded my vocals at Phil's studio, Nosferatu's Lair, and that's
Right.
kind of how that was done. And, we were proud of the production on that one, but then, the next 2 was just done all at Nosferatu's Lair, so I think that maybe just, all being recorded at the same place. There's a different engineer that came in for Destroy. So Steve Berrigan, the big fella, got to give a
Right.
shout out to him. He did a great job. So, and then we just, from experience, you got to hope that you learn. If you're doing something so much, you're going to get better at
Right.
it. And so,
Sure.
yeah, all of the above, man.
Very cool. Now, man, with Destroy, the one major characteristic that steps out to me is that, you guys are sort of thrash-like, I guess, but you guys almost teeter in and out of death metal a little bit. It's not full-on death, it's a step behind that, but not quite. And it almost reminds me of early Sepultura type stuff, not necessarily in style as much as just the vibe. Do you guys really work on developing that vibe, or is that just kind of a natural thing that comes out as I fall down? Is that just sort of a natural thing that comes out of you guys?
Yeah, I would have to say a natural thing, because we didn't sit around and say, hey, let's, bring some death metal into our music or something. But it's natural because our drummer, Joey Gonzalez, when he was like 15, joined a death metal band.
Sure.
And so he's always played that kind of music. And then with Destroy, we just kind of wanted to, give us more freedom and unleash ourselves to do whatever, and that includes Joey being able to open up more, and all of us just to not stick with our old school type of writing pattern. So I guess that's just what came out of us, this time.
Now, as a vocalist, how difficult is it for you to avoid the pitfalls that seem to find so many guys like yourself that all of a sudden decide mid-career that they want to sing and they don't want to just, belt it out? I know you've heard it on 50 albums that I'm sure you own. Do you have to fight that, or are you comfortable doing what you do?
I'm comfortable doing what I do because, I don't think people it would just be too weird if I just suddenly changed.
Sure.
Now, if it's a totally different band like Phil does so many,
right,
give me a chance to maybe do a different kind of voice. So I'm happy with thrash metal that I do, just sticking with what I've always done. It's my safe zone, kind of, and
sure,
it's kind of like, what's weird is there was one part that I was having trouble, like, singing my style, so I thought, well, maybe I'll try to do it a little different, but as soon as we tried it, me and Phil were like, nah,
right.
It ain't going to work. We don't want to scare them off like Bruce is changing his style or something. So you know what I mean. It's just not going to work for Warbeast. Or,
sure. Now, how do you guys write as a band? Do you guys write together? Do you come up with your parts and the band comes up with the music, or how do you put it all together?
Yeah, it starts out with the guitarist coming up with the initial riff blueprint of the song, and then he starts working with the drummer, and then they get basically a whole nucleus together. And then after that's all, and I can tell when it's like enough to be a song, I might ask them where the solos are going to be, or they might tell me if they're hearing it in their heads, if this is where the chorus should go or whatever. So we're open to working together on ideas and changing it. If I need to add more parts for the lyrics or something, they'll be open to that. But the lyrics always come later, you know what I mean? So I like to hear the music, and then I kind of hear how I want to sing it.
Right.
And as weird as it may sound, I know I saw James Hetfield say he does the same thing. Once he figures out how he's going to sing, he sort of even counts syllables and words, and then might make up whatever he can just to sing it for now, and then I go back and kind of fill it in later.
Right. Well, if you could find the same success as James Hetfield, I think you'd be okay, right?
Well, that's probably not going to happen, but I was happy to hear that he does the same style of writing lyrics that I do.
Now, let me ask the question nobody likes to answer. How does the band fight to get their way?
Oh, man, I mean, just whatever it takes, you know what I mean? We try to be diplomatic, and it's usually band majority vote on anything, but, everybody's got their own certain things, their little things they like to get or need, necessities, and we try to take care of everybody if we can.
Very cool. Well, dude, out on tour, clearly you're in front of a lot of people every night. What's the reaction been, and, what surprises you about the people that come out?
What really surprises me is whether they like us or not, or know of us or not, or, whatever. They're like watching. I mean, even if they're just standing there, it looks like I look out there and I see almost all eyes are paying attention, and that's usually a good thing, because it's not a good sign when you look out and everybody's like walking around just like waiting for Phil or something, you know what I mean? Like everybody's outside smoking or shooting pool or whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of surprising that we're getting their attention.
That's cool.
Whether it's good or bad,
Sure. Have you found a lot of people are coming up to you like after gigs and whatnot, and talking specifically about your band instead of simply being, dude, it's great that Phil's into you. You know what I mean? Do you find a lot of people that actually come up and they're into what you're doing and looking for the disc or looking for a shirt or whatnot?
Yeah, that's actually been happening quite a bit. Makes us all feel really great, because we're a hard-working band, so we come out and sell our own merch throughout the night. And this has been, like our 9th tour. So there's some of these we're hitting 2 or 3 times now, some of the same cities. So people have seen us before and are starting to get to know us. And so, yeah, a lot of times it's cool because we can just walk around and no one know who we are. A lot of them don't know who we are, but after they see us play, then they'll, like, see us and, like, want to let us know if they like the show.
Sure. What do you want people to know about Destroy that we're either not hitting or I'm not asking or whatnot?
Well, I mean, wow, I don't know. Just, you know, we were proud of it when we came up with the songs, and we were so excited just for the release and for people to be able to hear it. And then, you know, being able to take these songs to the stage and hear them the way they're meant to be heard, you know.
Right.
So a lot of times, you know, I notice people have heard the album and they think it's okay, but they see us live and suddenly those songs like stand out even more.
10 times bigger.
Right. So then all of a sudden the song they might not have thought was so great on the album, it's like, wow, that song Nobody, man, I love that, you know. And, so it just, you know, the thing is to really, you know, appreciate those songs. I think it's best to see us live, even though we're, you know, we're proud of the production and everything, like you mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. Well, man, I'm going to ask you what's known as the traditional classic metal show question. We've literally asked 500 people so far. We get a wide range of answers. Have no idea where you'll go with this, but we'll ask anyway. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Oh, obviously that was a big influence because, you know, I was at the age of in the 70s when, you know, they were calling heavy metal like, yeah, like the stuff that we call hard rock now, like, you know, Aerosmith and Queen and stuff was put in heavy metal magazines. But so, like, that was when Motorhead came out, and, you know, we'd already kind of gotten a taste of Priest, and, you know, we already knew of Sabbath, of course, but, I mean, it changed everything, just faster, heavier. He plays his bass like a guitar, the rough style vocals, which, you know, I identify with. Just overall attitude, everything about the guy represents metal to me, you know.
There it is, cool. Well, dude, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing song, so what would you like us to play to close the interview out? Maybe tell us a quick story about it.
Well, all right, let's go with Warbeast, actually. You know, the song is about the movie Death Machine. It's a 90s movie. Scott told me, hey, you need to watch the movie, because there's a robotic monster in it they call the Warbeast. Right. So it made sense for me to go and watch the movie, and that's what I did. Just found it on Netflix, wrote some notes, and that became the song Warbeast.
Nice. Well, let's check it out right now. This is Warbeast by Warbeast. Check it out. It is your classic metal show.